Emily Flores joining us now, and why is this, Emily?
Well, Mark and Shauna, they're claiming it's from exposure to the hundreds of burn pits both in Afghanistan and Iraq. They're used to destroy military garbage. Experts say the fumes pouring out of these pits are toxic and dangerous. So while troops may survive the battle, they may also be being poisoned.
You've got so many things you have to worry about fighting in a war. Worrying about something that our own side is doing should not be part of that.
We've seen the pictures, the devastation of war in both Iraq and Afghanistan. But something that may be harming our soldiers and civilian contractors isn't coming from the enemy, but from our own government. Open air burn pits.
Big ugly holes in the ground where they just throw everything in.
Belching plumes of thick black smoke into the air. What's in the pits? Everyday garbage.
Packaging materials, old food that isn't consumed.
Blended with a lethal concoction of proven cancer-causing materials.
Plastic water bottles.
Sewage, tires, oil, gas, body parts, legs, arms, anything that'd burn or melt.
There are hundreds of pits on or near our U.S. military bases in both Iraq and Afghanistan. The smoke is everywhere.
It just permeates through the air. It collects on your clothing, the building, the people.
This pollution is also entering the bodies of our soldiers.
There's hundreds of cases in Afghanistan and Iraq where people have developed leukemia, other forms of cancer, skin disorders, breathing disorders, heart problems.
Among them, John Wester and Jim Ogden. Both Utah men say they went to war healthy, but came home very ill. John served in both countries and was exposed to burn pit smoke on a daily basis. He believes that smoke is what caused his Hodgkin's lymphoma.
When I was talking to my cancer doctor up at Huntsman, I showed her a list of the stuff they were burning. She identified 5 things right off the bat as known carcinogens.
Jim worked as a contracted helicopter inspector in Iraq and would pass the pits several times every day.
I think that's what caused my eyesight to disappear.
Jim is now blind and labeled catastrophically disabled by the military.
Most of my nerve endings are burned.
Both men believe it was that smoke that hung over their camps that brutalized their bodies. Here in Utah, Dr. Chakravarthi Reddy at the Huntsman Cancer Institute believes these soldiers' claims.
The dioxins that are released, individually all of them have been shown to have harmful effects on health.
Dr. Reddy says most commonly these types of chemicals attack the human lungs.
It usually just manifests as common symptoms like cough, shortness of breath, burning sensation in lungs.
The job of running the burn pits was contracted by the U.S. government to KBR and Halliburton. The U.S. government says those contractors did not fully do their job. Late last year, the U.S. Government Accountability Office issued a report to Congress. It revealed that prohibited items were being burned in open pits and the smoke was harmful to humans nearby. Today, the Department of Defense says changes are underway. Many burn pits have been closed and some 60 pits have been replaced by incinerators.
Well, there's over 200 of them over there, and I know they didn't provide incinerators for all of them.
But the damage may already be done. There are numerous complaints about the pits by military troops, U.S. senators, and even medical doctors. And hundreds have filed a federal lawsuit against contractors KBR and Halliburton.
It's a potentially serious thing.
The Department of Veterans Affairs is tasked to help returning military members. But the VA says there is no proof yet that the smoke and illnesses are connected.
What we know is that these pits had lots of chemicals and lots of things in them that would lead you to believe that there were probably a good chance that you get some toxic effects to those.
VA authorities claim they are being proactive with burn pit complaints. They've extended medical coverage for vets to 5 years, and they are asking all returning vets to contact the Veterans Affairs so they can track their symptoms. They also have 60,000 veterans filling out health questionnaires as part of a 10-year study. After that, the VA will determine whether or not the burn pits and the illnesses are connected. Until then, veterans and civilians home from Iraq and Afghanistan wait.
I say you get in, have a good blood test done, and there are scores of people that have died already from leukemia and other cancers. To me, it's a very big deal.
Now, that 5-year medical coverage for veterans does not include the civilian contractors. These burn pits are being monitored closely by Congress right now, and several senators are working to get masks and respirators on our troops. And by the way, Mark and Shauna, John Wester, who you saw in the story, is in remission from his
Good.
Hodgkin's lymphoma, and actually was just flown to Iraq last week for another deployment. So
Shocking.
he said he'll stay away from the pits, but he's willing to serve.
That's great.
Shocking story, Emily. Thanks so much.